So before we get to the guided meditation today, I would really like to take this time up front to make this point known again. Sometimes I say this at the end of an episode. I'm not sure if everybody's getting to that point, but this, for me, I would like it to be a community. You know, I would much prefer to see myself as a member of a community than a person who is imparting anything to other people. And a community would be a dialogue or a conversation between us. So I would love to answer questions that you all have. You can either email me, email me a written question, or you can record your question on your phone and email it to me, and I will play the question on the episode and then respond to it. But I'd like for you all to start hearing each other's voices, because the community is starting to grow a little bit, and there's a lot of support in that. You might go back and listen to my episode about the Sangha, my conversation with Karen Blumenthal, discussing the importance of community. So I think it would be great to start hearing each other's voices in terms of maybe a recording that you send in, or even just the question. And if you're comfortable sharing your name, and you want me to share it, then I could do that as well, so we can start getting to know each other a little. But ultimately, if you all have questions, I would love to be able to answer them. So you can email me, james@themindfulplace.net, or there's the Facebook group. It's, I think it's just the Mindful Place Facebook group, and you can go on there and post questions. But either way, it would be great if we start getting that sense of community to come out through the podcast, because right now you all are just hearing my voice, and there's a lot of other people that are engaging in the podcast that it would be nice if you all could be connecting with each other, because I think there's some like-minded people. All right, so I hope you enjoy the meditation. So I'm calling this meditation Back to the Basics with sound, because if we think about it, most of our experience in our life can be felt through the five senses: smell, sound, sight, touch, taste. And if you haven't listened to the episode where I explain my metaphor with the audio board, the mixing board, like in the recording studio, I would recommend going back and listening to it. I think it's called Metaphors to Guide Meditation Practice, or something like that. And I explain how we can tune into all of these different sensory experiences so that we ultimately can be more in tune with our senses, and then ultimately our day-to-day experience as it's happening. But one of the simple and pure ways in which we experience the world is what we hear, what sounds occur. And meditation can be as simple as sitting and hearing, or walking and hearing, or standing and hearing. But just tuning into what the sounds are. So we don't really need to think much more about it. Just finding a position that's comfortable for you, that will serve you. And it's simply tuning into the sounds. What's here to be heard? By me, it's raining. There are cars passing. I can hear the sound of my own voice, my own breath. What's here to be heard for you? Just tuning into it. And if there's nothing to be heard, tuning into that as well. If I pay close attention, I can hear a train pulling in the distance. What's in the distance for you? And very close is the sound of my breath. What's close for you? And what about in between? There's not a train station for a few miles from my house, so apparently we can hear for miles. Just receiving that. Everything that's traveling to your ears for as far as you can hear. And as close as you can hear. And if the mind wanders from the sounds, not judging yourself for having wandered, that's just what the mind does. It's simply coming back. I guess you can call it a practice in concentration or just mindfulness. But that's what I mean when I say back to the basics. You pick an object of meditation, namely sound. If the mind wanders, you come back, and that's it. The basics. Alan Watts says, listening to the general hum and buzz of the universe. For me, there's birds chirping, raindrops falling off the gutter, cars, just the general activity of the world. For you, whatever's here to be heard. And just participating by listening. All of these things together, all of these sounds, it's like a symphony. Each thing that is making a sound is like its own chair in an orchestra, all coming together to create this cacophony of sound waves that you receive. Hearing it all with no other intention besides hearing. That's it. Not even the intention to be meditating, but just hearing. You don't need to learn how to hear. Your body just knows how to do it intuitively. So really, just witnessing the hearing that is already happening. So, as I sometimes do, I'm going to move towards ending this recording. But just because I end the recording doesn't mean that you have to stop. You're listening, you're mindful hearing. You can continue for as long as time that you have or that you want to. And just following those basic instructions. Witnessing what is here to be heard, with no other intention besides hearing. And if the mind wanders, gently bringing it back. Gently being a key word. And enjoy your sit.